Let's go Falcons. Everything seemed quiet at Flowery Branch just a few weeks ago. The team was focused, the locker room looked united, and despite some bumps, the season still felt like it was on track. But then, something shifted. Subtle at first, just whispers, tension, odd personnel decisions. And then suddenly, one of the team's key players was gone. No warning, no press build-up, just a move that sent shockwaves through the roster. Why did it happen? What really went on behind the scenes? And what does this decision reveal about the future of this team? Let's break it all down. So click the like button and if possible write in the comments, rise up. Ray McCloud is no longer an Atlanta Falcon. That's the bombshell that dropped this week, and the fallout is already echoing through Flowery Branch. It was a move that, honestly, no one saw coming just 3 weeks ago. But now, in the wake of everything that's unraveled, from his declining production to reported locker room tensions, it's not so surprising anymore. Let's unpack exactly how this all went south so quickly, and what it means for the Falcons' receiver room going forward. First, let's be real. The numbers weren't great. McCloud had played in just 4 games this season, racking up only 14 targets, 6 receptions, and 64 yards. That's not what you expect from a guy who was expected to be your WR3, especially on a team struggling for consistent offensive rhythm. And yet, the underlying issues seem to go far beyond just stats. Multiple reports and insider whispers pointed to deep dissatisfaction from McCloud following the controversial firing of wide receivers coach Ike Hilliard. A move that many inside the building, and clearly some players, saw as a scapegoat play. McCloud, by all accounts, didn't take that firing lightly. While head coach Raheem Morris denied that McCloud's practice ejection was directly tied to his feelings about Hilliard, he never outright denied McCloud's discontent either. And that speaks volumes. Morris made it clear the decision to boot McCloud from practice was a football issue between coaches and player. But that kind of decision doesn't happen unless a player is crossing multiple lines: effort, attitude, commitment. The signs were all there. And then came the snowball effect. First, McCloud was a healthy scratch against Buffalo, even with Darnell Mooney sidelined. Then, he gets tossed from practice. Another healthy scratch against the 49ers. And just like that, by Tuesday, he's gone. It's the kind of swift, decisive move that screams, this was bigger than just bad production. Let's talk about effort. Missing blocking assignments is one thing. But not trying to block? That's something else entirely. That's a culture issue. Multiple fans and insiders said the same thing: McCloud wasn't engaged. The effort wasn't there. And when you're not producing, not contributing on special teams, he had just 2 punt returns all year, and you're actively hurting the team with poor effort, it becomes an easy decision. The dead cap hit is minimal, under $500,000. There's no significant financial consequence. And so, the Falcons pulled the plug. It's worth noting that McCloud had one of the better seasons of his career in Atlanta, but even that couldn't save him. Not with younger, hungrier players like Casey Washington earning praise from the staff. Not with Bijan Robinson evolving as a receiving threat. And definitely not with Drake London continuing to anchor the passing game and Kyle Pitts finally starting to look like the dynamic tight end he was drafted to be. McCloud's ceiling on this roster was WR4, maybe WR5. That's a hard place to be if you're not bought in. Now, this wasn't just about Ray's exit. It's also a signal. A clear one. The Falcons need help at wide receiver, and they're willing to shake things up to make it happen. Cutting your WR3, even one with attitude issues, when you're already thin at the position sends a message: we're looking elsewhere. Whether that means a trade before the deadline or a veteran free agent pickup, something's coming. The most obvious option right now? Tyler Lockett. The veteran wideout was just released by the Titans and has a history of solid production, 600 yards and 2 touchdowns last year with Seattle in a crowded receiver room. He's not the same guy he was in his prime, but he's reliable. He's a smart route runner. And crucially, he's a slot specialist who could easily step into McCloud's former role without the baggage. If you're the Falcons, and you're trying to push for the playoffs, you could do a lot worse than bringing in someone like Lockett to steady the ship. Think about the difference in tone this move brings. Instead of muddling through the rest of the season with a disgruntled McCloud, you get a pro like Lockett who understands his role, runs precise routes, and can still be productive. He's not a WR1, and nobody's pretending he is. But when you have London, a hopefully healthy Mooney, and Pitts rounding out the core, a guy like Lockett becomes that perfect glue piece. Someone who knows how to find soft spots in zone, how to be where the quarterback needs him to be, and how to make the clutch third down grab when it counts. And the timing lines up perfectly. The trade deadline is 2 weeks away. There's still time to make a move if a better option comes available. But if not, Lockett can be signed immediately and plugged into the rotation without giving up draft capital. It's a low-risk, potentially high-reward move that adds experience and dependability to a receiver group that just lost both. So here we are, Falcons fans. Ray McCloud is out, the WR room is thin, and the team has a decision to make. Was this the right call? Was releasing McCloud addition by subtraction? And should Tyler Lockett be the guy to fill that hole for the second half of the season? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Was this a move you support or a mistake that might come back to haunt Atlanta? If you're still with us, let's take a deeper look at what this move truly signals about the Falcons' mindset heading into the second half of the season. The release of Ray McCloud, despite being buried on the depth chart, shows that this coaching staff is drawing a hard line. You either contribute or you're gone. And that matters, especially in a locker room full of young talent. Raheem Morris sending a clear message that effort, attitude, and accountability are non-negotiable could end up being one of the turning points in maintaining culture and momentum heading into crunch time. Let's not forget the real stakes here. This is a Falcons team that's still in the hunt. The NFC South is a battleground, and every edge counts. McCloud had opportunities. With Mooney hurt and the offense still searching for rhythm, a veteran like him should have stepped up, not disappeared. The fact that he didn't, and more importantly, the fact that he reportedly wouldn't, is why he's no longer in the building. And the Falcons didn't hesitate. Now, the natural next question, is Tyler Lockett the guy who steps in? While he's clearly not the explosive downfield threat he once was, he doesn't need to be. Lockett isn't coming in to dominate targets, he's coming in to provide stability, leadership, and reliable hands. Think of him as a safety net for this offense, a smart player who won't run the wrong route, who will find the holes in his own defense, and who won't become a distraction in the locker room. If nothing else, Lockett could help mentor some of the younger guys in this wide receiver group, like Casey Washington. That kind of presence matters. And while we know the Falcons are working with limited cap flexibility, the fact that Lockett was released means there's no trade compensation, just a contract negotiation, likely at a team-friendly price. It's a move that fits the team's current needs and their budget. It's just smart football. So let's wrap this all up. McCloud's release might have seemed abrupt, but it was necessary. It clears the path for a stronger, more united receiver room, potentially led by a veteran like Lockett. That's a win in every category that matters, on the field, in the locker room, and in the front office. Now, it's your turn. Would you bring Tyler Lockett to Atlanta? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and click on the video right here on your screen for the latest Falcons moves and inside updates. Go Falcons!